This is episode 8, and as always, splashy title later. I think, Anthony, did you tell me this is the second time you're going to Knott's already?
Yeah.
Okay.
We went on the 8th on the first Saturday.
Oh, we were there. My husband and I were that day.
I didn't see you.
We were
you were probably gone by the time we got there because we got there at noon.
Close. We did. We left at like 2:30 or 3.
Well, I had a 10:30 reservation, or 10 or 10:30 reservation, but I didn't know that you could make reservations for more than one person on the day when the reservation hell happened. And so my fiance ended up with 12, so we couldn't go until 12.
We spent 45 minutes in line for Berry Tales, only for it to break down and never reopen. So we spent a good chunk, because we had 11 a.m. reservations. So we spent, a good chunk of time in line for something that ended up breaking down. But...
Yeah, it's good that we were there the same day so we could share basically the same stories.
Yeah, what I was going to say is Michael was talking to me. Well, what are we going to do as far as formatting? Well, 3 of the 4 of us have been to Knott's. We all know #NotMyPark. So I was going to let you guys go into that because I want to hear what the ticket difference was and experiences for that. I didn't do Disney. I don't have any plans to do Disney. We'll talk about our membership. We'll talk about our membership in a little while. That good old Bob let out. So we'll talk about that in a bit. And then on my other podcast, on Extraordinary Culture, Dan lays out a pretty lengthy segment on when he went to Disneyland with the cast members, because his fiance is a cast member, so he got to do that. It was his first time on Rise, and so he talks about all that, but we'll get into that a little later. I want to hear what you guys went through as far as Knott's, though, and how it was different. And I know but back and forth we're going to be like, well, Disney did this, so don't even worry about it.
Right.
Well, whatever Knott's did, they did it better, because that's just how things go. I mean, I love Disney so much better, but yeah, they don't do things very well. Universal does things better than Disneyland, and that's not saying much. But I've been saying that for years pertaining to security. But I don't know if you want to talk about, Gina, if you want, or anybody wants to talk about the whole reservation process. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, probably the same as what Disneyland, but probably not as impossible to do. I mean, I was still able to get a reservation for today on I think Sunday or something like that. So I mean, there was still reservations available for 12 and 12:30. So for today, tomorrow was completely sold out, but the weekends obviously sold out first.
So how are they doing that? I mean, because I am aware that there's different times for arrival, but is that only up until a certain time? Because what's their opening time right now?
10.
10. So
Yeah,
they do 10 and then space it out a little bit.
Yeah, then I think I've noticed the latest time block is 2:30. Is that right? You concur?
I want to say it was like 2:30 or 3. It was somewhere.
I think the weekends might have had a later day, but I know for today, when I was looking, the latest time was 2:30. So yeah, so they pretty much have half-hour blocks from 10 a.m. to 2:30. And you can basically go anytime after your reservation time. You don't have to be there exactly at the reservation time, and you're not like, oh, you could only be at the park for so long or anything stupid like that. You could just show up anytime after. So, like, when we went on the Saturday, my reservation was for 10, 10:30, whatever it was, but we didn't show up until 12, but that was fine because as long as it was after the reservation time.
What's your closing time right now, out of curiosity?
Depends on the time.
9,
Weekday is 8,
9 or 10?
and
8.
Weekends are 10.
Yeah, that's right. So you could definitely show up at the high end of the reservation times and still have plenty of time to be in the park. Or you could be like Gina, who probably showed up right at 10. And did you have a 10 o'clock reservation?
No, I had an 11 o'clock reservation. I tried for opening reservations, but so the morning it went live. I had difficulties getting in because it crashed, as it's apt to do. And by the time I got in, it took me, I want to say the whole reservation process for the first day they opened reservations, it took me maybe 2 hours. And I got Saturday the 8th. The earliest I could get was 11, so we got there at 11, and they did turn people away. So as you walk up, they say, "Do you have a reservation?" And then they ask what time. We said
Right.
11. It was after 11, so they let us walk through. If you didn't tell the truth at that first checkpoint, when you got to the ticket counter and you went to scan your ticket, they said, "Bye-bye, we'll see you at your reservation time."
You guys actually saw that happen?
The person in front of me
Beautiful.
saw it happen, and they had to turn away.
Wow. See, I was wondering if it was truly linked to your pass and whether your time showed up on your pass or whether
Yes.
they just said that. And
No, it's on there.
no, that's good. That's funny. I wish I had seen that because you guys know how much I enjoy seeing people fail.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it was funny because I was in bad luck. I was in the far left, right, the closest lane to get in. And I'm like, looking at the right, I'm like, why is everybody going in? I'm too busy talking to my daughter, so I look. And they're like trying to scan in. They're trying to, the plexiglass is kind of hard to talk to, especially when they scan to the point where they have to do it right at the edge of it because that was taking long in the beginning, the opening day as I attended. And you could see them, the couple was just pissed and turned away. And then the manager came and said, "Hey, it's not your time. Go back out there." And I just, because eventually I went to the next line and I told the people, I go, "You're going to stay there for a bit." As soon as I went by, the manager was like, "Your time is the time and it's on here. If that's what it says, that's what it says."
Hey, so you went on Friday?
Thursday, opening.
Oh, Thursday. You went Thursday. That was opening. Yeah. So you were
Yeah.
there with that other group that shall not be named.
You know what? There was a lot of people there, a lot of YouTubers.
Oh, I know. I saw.
Yeah.
I knew people that were going on Saturday also that they were scared because of what they saw on Thursday. I'm like, it's not even gonna be the same. That's all just your stupid bloggers and your annoying people that are gonna be always annoying anyways. And it's gonna be crazy. But if anybody actually saw what was going on that later in the day, it was like hardly anything. But
yeah,
I mean,
and the thing is, to be honest, it just felt like a regular park day. And the only reason why it's slowing down is the blue pass is being exposed again. They're abusing it like crazy. And there was some guests on Berry Tales where it took them a little difficult because they were actually disabled. And it took a while. And when I was almost to the end of the ride, it stopped for a good 5 minutes or so. So by the time we got off, we were chilling. I was with the Crafty Pie Thieves, and we're all talking with the managers. And eventually it came around, and it took another 5 minutes, and that was the reason why we stopped back there, because there was an older lady trying to get off the ride. And you could see the blue pass line was probably like, to get the signage or the time was like 3 hours plus. So it was backed up as more. That was making everything back up from Ghost Rider to Silver Bullet to, once the log ride opened, that was like a 2 hour wait. And I was all the way going to attempt that. All the way in the back, right where behind the wood sign where Charles is at. And I was just like, nah, I'm good. And then after watching Mondo's video, I was like, just at a certain point was an hour. I was like, nah, I'm glad I made the right choice. Cause, it felt like the only issue I had, honestly, which I know I found out that they are very understaffed in foods, is that like I was at the cantina for an hour and 20 minutes. And I was like 50 people in front of me. And it took that long, so
wow.
That was everywhere. The only, what's shocking was the only good thing was that firemen's look long, but they work their butts off, and that line flows. You end up talking to somebody, talking about barbecue, and then you get a conversation, then everybody starts talking about barbecue, then you get into, like how long have you been at Knott's and stuff like that, but the line never stopped, and if you can, don't be intimidated by that.
The thing with firemen's is it's always like that, though. The firemen's line always looks long because they don't really have much of a line. It's kind of OG, and there's no room for them to expand that line at all, so they don't really have much choice. And it's always going to look long, but as long as they're fully staffed, it's always going to move. That's been my experience with firemen's. Now, they must have fixed some of those problems, obviously, by Saturday, because I mean, the whole time I was there on Saturday, which, I mean, wasn't overall too long, but I didn't really notice any crazy lines or staffing. I mean, the only real issue was Berry Tales. Now, I know from stories that Berry Tales did break down several times the day you went, Michael, but they never actually broke down to the point where it was closed for the day.
No.
It broke down good. It broke down hard on Saturday.
We're talking about it broke down like probably like around what?
Early.
1:30 or 2?
It broke down at like noon because we got there at 11 and it was our first thing we did. We got there at 11. By the time we got in, it was just after 11, like 11:10-ish. We walked straight over to Berry Tales. We waited in line for 45 minutes. It broke down before we got up there because I told my husband, I said, hey, there are people on the phone. I said, something's going on. And he's like, well, how do you know? I'm like, just trust me on this one. He looked nervous. You know that look of sheer panic that you get when you're an employee and you know things aren't going to be good. So we got through the whole line, get up to the top, and this guy one of the ride ops was taking our names. And they're like, hey, if we open back up, or when we open back up, they were being optimistic. They said, just give us your name and the party number and we'll get you on. Like, we'll take you through the back way. And I was like, all right, well, whatever. I mean, there were some people in front of us who were obviously unhappy. And I'm like, listen, it's not their fault. Like, first off, this was the Iron Reef and that broke down constantly. And it's not like they revamped the entire ride. They give it a zhuzh and they called it a different ride.
Yeah, can we talk about that for a second? Because why bother? Why bother? If they're not going to bother to gut the ride and make it a proper dark ride again like it was, why bother making Berry Tales? If you're just going to turn it from stupid Iron Reef into something just as dumb, at least you should have just done Kingdom of the Dinosaurs because that probably would have fit the aesthetic much better. And more people know what Kingdom of the Dinosaurs is because it was there much longer and for more of what I would call formative years, as opposed to Berry Tales, which people barely remember.
I don't remember that at all. Like,
Kingdom
of the Dinosaurs, I definitely
remember
do.
that it was a thing, but yes, see, everybody remembers Kingdom of the Dinosaurs.
Yeah.
The aesthetic of what Iron Reef would have much better have translated into a dinosaur shooting game instead of let's shoot berries and bring back this old ride that nobody remembers.
Is that what it is? So, because
Yes.
I like Iron Reef. I'm not gonna lie to you. I actually like Iron Reef. That was when I did go to Knott's. That was one of the ones like, I'll get on this ride because I thought it was kind of cool. So like 4D kind of stuff. I was like, that's actually, for what it was, for the tech, knowing well, this used to be Kingdom of the Dinosaurs. But if it's a berry shooting ride. Okay.
Well, you know how much I hate shooting rides,
Yeah.
Michael.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
Buzz.
Like, I didn't get on it, but I watched several of the vloggers who did get on it. So I've seen the ride through, and it smells really good. Like, we got up to the top to where you could, like, see the ride vehicle and, like, people in suits, obviously, like, looking at this ride, like, in just like, disbelief. And they were very upset. But it smells delicious.
Yes, it did.
Boysenberry, right? It's Boysenberry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Boysenberry. And
It goes off and on.
yeah, it was, I mean, if they can get the ride to actually be maintained to work more often than it's down, then it will be a cool addition to Knott's. That's the key, though. Iron Reef, it was down a lot. And Berry Tales just uses the same, track and the same vehicles, essentially. It's the same ride. They just changed a few things.
What do we say about Star Tours? Change the disc?
Yeah.
Just change the disc on the thing.
Except for in this case, it's more like Rise of the Resistance, except for it's not, because it's an old ride that they couldn't get right the first time, and now they're just trying to do it a second time. And I would have been like, you know what, if you really want to go for nostalgia, bring back the goddamn Soapbox Racers, okay? Because
Yeah.
And
that's like my favorite ride ever at Knott's.
They can get rid of the knockoff of Goofy Sky School, whatever the heck that thing's called at Knott's. It's the Wild Mouse ride.
Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Yes, highly uncomfortable, horrible lap bar system, just not a fun ride to go on. Never has a line for a reason. Take that out. Put in Soapbox Racers 2.0. Obviously,
Yes.
you're not going to have the same one from the 70s and the 80s, but zhuzh it up, make it a nostalgic ride, bring it into the new century. That would go over so well because a lot of Gen Xers are going to Knott's with their kids, and the Gen Xers, like, that's the ride we remember. Like, Soapbox Racers is the biggest one that you see on every Facebook group and everyone talking about, and that's the one people want to see.
Oh, so it's like the
most
people
merch,
mover.
too.
Huh?
Yeah.
So it's like the
it's
people
it's
mover.
The people mover, and they have the most merch in their store.
Really?
That's the most, yeah.
Wow.
And okay, so like I remember Kingdom of the Dinosaurs, and it was one of my favorite rides. Like I loved Kingdom of the Dinosaurs.
Yeah, second favorite ride.
Yeah, it was just the Soapbox
Mine.
race was when I was a little kid, but like I remember Kingdom of the Dinosaurs from my middle school days, and we loved that ride because there was never a line. It was a chance to just chill out for a minute and go on a ride, and you know, it was the same thing over and over again. It was just a fun little ride. And it never broke down. Like Kingdom of the Dinosaurs, that was like, that thing took a licking and kept on ticking.
That's kind of weird. I didn't know it was just basically taken in to take Iron Reef and basically put in, rehash it, a new coating.
And what's even worse is that the gun is heavy as hell. It
Yeah.
really is heavy.
Well, I mean, even for Iron Reef, my hand would get tired. Like,
No,
legitimately,
but
my
the
hand
gun
would
is even more heavy.
it's heavier?
The
Wow, that's
berry
crazy.
gun feels even more heavier. And
Then the Iron Reef gun? Oh my.
yeah, and what's
Not
even
a
worse
trick.
about the whole system,
Oh, it's a pull
is
thing?
that
Like, is it?
you can't tell where you're shooting at. That's the biggest issue.
And
You
it's
don't know what you're
so-
shooting at. The little dot that splashes on the screen is so mixed up, like you think you're lined up, and you're shooting a pie, and you're shooting way off, up or down. That thing definitely need to fix, and that's
So
one
it's
of the
like
biggest
Midway
issues.
Madness.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
Midway Mania. Yeah, sounds like
Whatever
Midway,
it's called.
even the pull thing like Gina was motioning here
Yeah.
on this audio podcast.
Like, it almost looks like a berry jar, and then
Okay.
it's like a plug in the back, and you're like pulling on it. I didn't, like I said, I didn't get to ride the ride myself, but I watched a bunch of the ride throughs, and people were looking at the guns, and then I was listening or reading what a lot of people on the like Facebook groups and stuff had said about being on the ride and what they liked and what they didn't like, and the gun was not getting a lot of love. That a lot of people didn't like that at all. So we tried to ride it. We wanted to make that our first ride. It didn't work out, so we said, all right. So we ended up riding a lot of like C-ticket rides that day, just because by the time we like left Fairy Tales, the rides for Ghost Rider and Silver Bullet were probably an hour a piece, and my husband doesn't really like those rides anyway, so we're like, all right, well, let's just ride. We rode the Scrambler ride, and then we rode the Carousel. We rode the Hat Dance, which, I mean, I hadn't ridden in 20 years, so that thing needs a facelift, by the way. That poor Hat Dance is in some disrepair. But everything was breaking down left and right. You had to,
Yeah.
and everything was cool about it. I mean, it was like the general consensus was, well, this hasn't been open in a year, so there's going to be some, like, you know, monkey wrenches. And then you'd think the Jaguar line was like 5 hours long, but then it was brought to everyone's attention, we cannot have indoor queues.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a long indoor queue too.
The whole queue is indoor in
Yeah.
Jaguar. I had to like bring it all out into the plaza. And then the reason why everything was so long was because even though it's, let's say 25% capacity, all of the rides are 25% capacity. So you have a sold out day, you're going to have sold out wait times. Because we went to get on the carousel, we couldn't even sit together because there's stickers all over the place telling you not to sit on things.
Well, it's not even that too, and then some rides were doing one family per car.
Yes.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so you had on, like the mine ride, it was one family per car in the mine ride, but also, what's it called now? It's not Bigfoot Rapids anymore. What's it called now?
Calico Rapid.
Calico Rapids with Bigfoot, featuring
Yes.
Bigfoot. was doing one family per
Raft.
boat.
Yeah, there was a lot of individuals on that thing.
But yeah, my mom went
Loner.
on it. She went by herself. She was on the whole road by herself. I said, if I had known that, we would have, the rest of us would have went with her. Because I'm like, she went by herself. I'm like, wow, you had a whole entire thing by yourself. That's unprecedented. It would never happen again.
Bucket list.
Yeah.
Like, I never usually go on those water rides, but I think I might have to go on Calico Rapids maybe today. I don't know. It's kind of ramping up to be kind of chilly in the evening, so I don't know.
A little windy.
But at some point before they stop doing this one family per vehicle thing, I definitely need to go on Calico Rapids, and I highly recommend that you guys do that too.
I tried. I failed. I said, screw that. The line was by the entrance.
I'm just amazed Anthony is
Calico?
advocating to get on a ride. Right, Michael?
Well, hey, I only did 3.
No, I'm talking about Anthony.
I mean, if you can get on a ride and you're the only one in the car, how do you not do that?
Oh, yeah, of course. I get
I
that.
mean, it got ridiculous. I got, because I got 11:30. So I got there like at 11:40. I took my time, because I knew it was going to be insane. My friend was already live showing me the lines, and some people were getting too close. And then when I got there, I see Shadow. He was outside. He was stuck because it came in too early with his time. And you can see a bunch of other people standing like all circulated around the entrance, just like you see one couple arguing like you knew what time it was. And I just started laughing. One thing I did notice, because I always take a break halfway in the park, and I always go to the parking lot. And when I came back, it was around 3:34, and a lot of people were getting dropped off and coming late too. I noticed that, and I saw a lot of teenagers getting dropped off too. So I knew that once that evening would hit slowly, the late bloomers would come. And it's been like that consistently. So even if you can't go right now, after that school or whatever you gotta do, they're gonna flood in. So I noticed that that's how the times got longer later. And I was just like, screw that, I'm done. No more rides. I just got some GOs, walked around and got some pictures and just make sure to do my reports for this and my groups. And that was it. I didn't go full blown. I'm saving that for Disneyland this Thursday.
Now, okay,
So,
hold on. There's a difference there, though. Because you're all speaking as I use this term loosely, pass holders, correct? Mm. You're all speaking as pass holders to Knotts. You're gonna have a very different experience. If Anthony's telling me he's going, this is the second time he's gonna go. That's way different than the next time any of us goes to Disneyland. I know Michael's going later this week or next week, but it's gonna be a way different experience, man. I get there when it opens, and I stay there till it closes because I'm dropping that big coin. I didn't say Bitcoin, I said big coin.
I made sure it was the one where it closed at 10. So
that's why nobody in their right mind should be paying money for something. They should just wait for passes.
Yeah, but they're not.
Just saying.
Well, he wanted to go, and Michael's got some extenuating circumstances about it, so he's been saying that's the reason I'm trying to do this is because I'm going to be laid out for a little while. But yeah, I don't know. Do you want to go on with any knots, or do you want to switch it over?
I want to talk about parking real fast.
Yeah, go for it.
I want to talk about your guys' parking experiences based on when you showed up and where you parked. Michael, on Thursday, what was parking like?
I knew that the far back hotel and all that got busy. I'm always across the street.
Well, no, but I mean, you're going to be wherever they tell you to go. Where did you get to?
No, I had the option.
Oh, well, yeah. They didn't. Apparently on Saturday there was no option.
There was no option for me. It depends.
It depends because if you want a guarantee to get the parking on the other side, what you're going to have to do is skip going through the main entrance and then just bust a U. And then there's an entrance to lead you to the second parking lot for the water park side. And you can just go straight directly to there without going to the main entrance. Where, a lot of people do like going under the bridge and say, okay, yeah, it's faster, better walk, and there's bathrooms outside. But a lot of times they won't give you that option of like, oh, no, keep going straight. So because I like if I know I'm going on the weekend, if I'm not there before the gates open, I'm going all the way around and parking to guarantee that side. But at the same time, it's been a little bit busy as the time goes because the lifeguards are training since opening day, so they're parking back there too. So it slowly progresses where it does get full, but that's because, you're just intertwining with the lifeguards and all the staff and everybody getting ready.
Now, before the pandemic and all this, with Knott's in the short period that I was going to Knott's from January to March when everything closed down, I never had any problem with parking. I parked in the Independence Hall parking all the time, and I got good parking, especially if I showed up late. I never had to park anywhere else ever. I never had to park at what I call their downtown Disney parking, the one by TJ Fridays, and I never had to park by the hotel. That was never a problem when the park was open normally before the pandemic. Now, when I went for the Halloween food event, we showed up late, and we talked about this, of course, before, but those who showed up early got to park at the TGI Fridays parking, and those who showed up late had to park over in BFE all the way on the other side of the hotel. Now, Michael, it sounds like they're doing things differently opening day. It sounds like by the time we went on Saturday, Gina, that they had a specific order in which they were going to open things, and that order included having the Independence Hall parking open last, apparently, because as far as I could tell by timing, it didn't even open until noon, because I showed up about 12:30, and there couldn't have been more than 40 cars in the parking lot, and I was fortunate that I guess we timed it that we didn't show up until 12:30, because I like parking in Independence Hall parking, and that's where we got to park. Now, I knew someone who was there right at opening at 10 a.m. and they parked at TGI Fridays, so that's where they parked first, and then my mom showed up probably about the same time as you, Gina, and she had to park way over by the hotel in BFE.
So before pandemic, my husband and I liked to go to Knott's before it opened. We always parked over where you call the TGI Friday parking. It's the parking lot, it's the paid parking lot right behind Ghost Rider. So Ghost Rider kind of splits the parking lot in half. One side is the marketplace, and that's closest to the marketplace and TGI Fridays, and the other side of it is for the all-day parking. And we always parked in there, and we liked parking in there because we'd get there as soon as the parking lot opened, we would park there. So we knew we didn't have reservations till later. We had something to do that morning, so we didn't roll up to Knott's until about 10:30 or 10:45. By the time we got there, that parking lot was already full and closed, and they had us going to behind the hotel. And so we parked out behind the hotel. It's a hike. I mean, it's kind of far out there, but it wasn't too bad. So we parked out there, and we figured that we felt the same way you did. We felt that they did the parking by the Ghost Rider first, hotel second, then Independence Hall third, where I felt pre-pandemic, because I went to Knott's a lot. I think they opened Ghost Rider first, Independence Hall second, then the hotel parking, and last,
Western.
or concurrently, they would open not necessarily the Western parking lot so much as that one where the horses are.
Oh, yes.
I hate that parking lot. Like, I would literally rather park anywhere else. The one over off of La Palma, because the homeless people live over there, and I really don't like encroaching on their space. Yeah. They have their space, I have mine, and walking from that parking lot across La Palma down Grand is honestly just, it's not a fun time. So I personally
never had to park there. That's crazy.
I've had to park there before, and it's just not, the parking lot isn't paved, so you're parking in grass, and
just like Western.
Yeah, it's like Western, but in my opinion, it's even a little bit worse than that. So, yeah, I prefer to get there early just for parking situation, but parking by the hotel wasn't bad. At least it's paved. So the lady who took the poor parking attendants, though, you can tell that they were already tired. we pulled up and she said, "Hi, do you have a reservation?" I mean, the sigh and everything. And I said, "Yes, we do." She's like, "Oh, good, because I would hate for you to get all the way up there and then them turn you away." I was like, "No, we have a reservation. We're good to go." And so she was really nice. I just felt like some people were being really rude to the Knott's employees. And I'm thinking, listen, Biff, they're like 17, 18, young. They're in their early 20s. They're very young. A lot of the workers were very young. You can tell the highlight of their day is not telling you to put your mask up, sit and eat, or not be rude. And there was, not everyone, but there was enough people being rude to the employees that my husband and I were like, this is ridiculous. Stop it. Like, y'all need to stop.
Yeah, unfortunately, the reports coming in from the employees that I know, especially one of my friends, is like, there is a lot of new people there, unfortunately. You know, a lot of people just didn't want to come back. And food was getting it. And the people that got it the worst was the guest relations. People were just yelling, demanding, lying about their disability. With the issues with the dining, all day dining in the season pass, not reading properly. And it was just chaos. And
I didn't have any problem with any of that stuff. By the way, my parking worked fine. My food pass worked fine. My drink pass worked fine.
Yeah, we were the guinea pigs on Thursday.
Yeah, we didn't have any issues with that either. But we did see a lot of people just like taking out all of their pandemic frustrations on the employees. And I mean, okay, so I'm the type of person that I would turn around and say something, but my husband gets incredibly embarrassed when I do that. Needless to say, for just, keeping peace in my marriage, I kept my mouth shut. But I worked at Knott, and I know what customer service people go through and what you're going through as an employee. And again, when this grown individual is being rude and disrespectful to somebody trying to give them their drink and food, it really took everything I had not to say something to people. And mask wearing was, I'm going to say, what I saw personally, mask wearing was about 80% compliant, 20% pushing the rules.
Correct.
And that's what I happened to see. Now, I follow some other people on Instagram, and they were saying as the night went on and as the days have gone on a little bit since then, that mask compliance is slipping even more, and that it was to the point where one of the people that I follow actually left the park and said that they were uncomfortable because so many people were just not following the rules, eating and walking, drinking and walking, mask off, and nobody was really stopping them. And in my head, I'm thinking, if I made minimum wage after all that they had been treated, I don't know if I would confront somebody about their mask use either, or just like pretend I'm not seeing it, because those employees got treated rough.
Well, so do the Disney World employees, and yet they still managed to stay mask holes, as some people have called them.
Yeah, and I don't, I don't know. I have a feeling like Knott's was a little, they didn't have as strict a mask policy as Disney did anyway. I always joke Knott's is the Walmart of theme parks because you're going there. It's not the same level. Like Disney is Nordstrom. When you go to Disney, you're paying. Yeah. I go to Knott's. I have a great time. It's super cheap. The food is amazing. The food to me blows Disney out of the water in terms of the food that they're offering at Knott's. Even with all the hiccups they've had since opening back up, the food was delicious.
Yes.
It was so good. And so I love Knott's, but Disney, they're very strict about their masks. Knott's is like, oh, you have a piece of fabric tied around your head? Come on in.
Pretty much.
Yeah, the amount of people wearing gaiters and handkerchiefs and bandanas and stuff was ridiculous. I was very happy to see. Now, I'm just going to go off script for a second just to talk about Star Wars Celebration and how.
Go right ahead.
And here's hoping that we don't need masks by Star Wars Celebration. But Star Wars Celebration was, because obviously you guys know about the Star Wars Celebration being removed.
Yeah, I was affected.
Right. Like negatively?
Yeah, well, it didn't happen, so I didn't go. And I
I'm talking about when
got
it
my
was
tickets.
moved.
I got my
No,
tickets
I'm talking
pushed.
about when it was moved this last.
Yeah, I saw.
When
I
they
know.
moved it from August to April.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm all right.
No, I was just saying.
Yeah.
But so they said that because of they put out their mask regulations for it, and basically their regulations are going to be basically no masked characters, no stormtroopers, no 501st, no
Oh, I didn't see all that.
Mandalorians, no nothing, because
No way.
anybody who wears a helmet or anything that you can't see whether they're masked, they will not be allowed. So they're probably very, very hoping that mask regulations are gone by the time Star Wars Celebration, because otherwise the backlash from all of the whiny 501st and Mandalorians and all those people is going to be intense. But they did specify, the reason I brought these up is because they did specify real masks. They did specify no gaiters, no neckerchiefs, no handkerchiefs, no valved masks. So they went the whole 9 yards with specifying what
it
is
basically
considered a mask.
It basically is Disneyland's rules, just moved over to a Disney convention across the
Basically.
street from Disneyland.
I didn't know that Disneyland stuff had specified those things were.
No, well, obviously,
prohibited.
no masks anyway. No impersonating the characters. Obviously, no neck gaiters, all those things. No valves. Yeah, and all that are. Michael's nodding his head at me. Yeah, all those are part of Disney's rules. So it really is just taking what Disney's doing at their parks to a Disney convention, which is literally held across the street from Disneyland. I just find that part ironic. I know I did see the date change. I didn't see all those rules, but I'm going to be honest with you, they don't apply to me because I don't go dressed up anyway. I was fine with them moving, and then to be honest, it's a whole year away. It's still a whole year away. We know here, and I know the majority of who listens to this is probably in the state of California anyway, but we're going to see relaxed mandates next month anyway. So unless things take a drastic turn for the worst, all that stuff is probably going to be allowed, and it's going to be pretty close to
it would be really, really
levels.
have to something extreme would have to happen for mask mandates to be gone by April of next year. It'd be or May, whatever it is, May.
Yeah.
Something crazy would have to happen. I mean, knock on wood. Yeah, this isn't wood. That's a vinyl cover, but
it was symbolic.
There's no actual wood around me. That's what she said. Oh wait.
So, food. I know. I did see Michael post some stuff about issues with the dining plan or whatever they gave you, or the piss yellow bottle or something. What happened with food?
Because the bottle, the refillable cup, the color is just hideous.
I like the color. It's
color
gold.
It's
like gold.
But it's not gold.
It's pea yellow.
You guys are crazy. I like that. I like it.
Version of gold.
I don't have it because I don't want to be responsible for remembering to bring it. So I went with just the small cup option. But I like the color. I like it way better than the red, the daily red, because I don't like red.
Yeah, it was. We don't have that one. We didn't get any of the drinks because we usually just drink water when we're there. But we are going to get the dining plan. We didn't add it on last year, so we're going to just pay for it and add it on this year. But we chose the sit-down restaurant, the grill, the Ghost Town Grill. We wanted to go sit on the patio. It was full and we just were hungry, so we didn't want to wait. But they sat us right away inside, and inside they're socially distancing. I actually took pictures of a booth where there's no table and it's just this empty area, and so
just a bench, just a seat.
No, it's just the seats. Yeah, it's just the seats.
Oh, wow.
Just in a corner with no table, and that's how they're socially distanced. They just don't put the table there, which is great because then it tells the hostess there's no table, so you're not sitting them there. But it was super nice in there. The food was just as good as it was pre-pandemic. It was just the best food. We got a salad and we got the hummus. I would say it took about the normal time for a sit-down restaurant. It didn't feel like it took like an overly long amount of time. The waitress seemed like she knew what she was doing. I don't think she was new. And everybody in there was, everybody in there was in a good mood, and it was great. It was a good experience. And so we didn't eat at any of the dining plan places because we didn't have it, and so we just decided to eat that one meal. So we had a great experience with the dining, with the foods there. And I think by Saturday they had solved a lot of the issues, because I would say the food lines were about average for a summer day. And I know that this isn't a summer day, but we're all clamoring to get back to some kind of like entertainment. So the place was sold out. Knott's was sold out on Saturday the 8th. So I would say that the lines were about average for a sold out day.
The places I saw had even less of a line than that. I mean, we went to Boardwalk Barbecue, and we didn't even wait 2 minutes. I mean, there was maybe like 4 people in front of us, and that was it. Now, my mom went to Coasters, and she waited a little bit longer. We had just walked by Coasters and had seen the line was coming out the door there, and we weren't going to go there anyways, but I just hadn't happened to notice that. So that one did have a little bit longer line, but then Coasters doesn't really have a queue indoors.
No.
They just kind of funnels out the door, as opposed to Boardwalk Barbecue, which does have that little indoor queue. But people were social distancing in the line. Well, like I said, we only had 4 people in front of us, and to me, that's more like a January day thing. But yeah, the food was good. I had seen pictures that scared me from Thursday, where the meat at Boardwalk Barbecue was white, the sausages were white, everything looked super gross, and I'm like, I don't know. They've ruined Boardwalk Barbecue because they took a bunch of stuff away from Boardwalk Barbecue.
Yes.
And then
They
added this whole
nonsense.
Macaroni and cheese, where you could stack barbecue on top of your macaroni and cheese thing. They added that whole thing, but they took a few items away. They took what used to be just the stack of pulled pork, and now they put it on a sandwich, which is fine. I mean, if you're gonna have pulled pork on something other than just sitting there, the sandwich is actually slightly an improvement. But they did take away a couple things. But the sausage is still there. The meat is still there. They have meatballs. I don't remember if the meatballs were there before, if that's new. But I've heard really good things about the meatballs, and it's next on my list to try there. I had the sausages and peppers, and it was really good. The picture I had seen of it was super gross, but then I saw it in person. I was like, ooh, that looks super good. So I went ahead and got it, and the peppers were delicious. My breath smelled like sweet peppers the rest of the day, even through. I kept smelling in my mask sweet peppers, and I'm like, well, I guess it's better than bad breath. Then, so yeah, that was really good. The meat was good. I got the beans as the side, the barbecue baked beans, super, super good. So, I mean, and I was really going to get some potato wedges because the potato wedges look super good too, but then I was like, ooh, those beans look amazing. I mean, they're no loves, but they were really good. And the cornbread was moist and very yummy. And it is nothing like I thought. I remember having cornbread there before, where it was super dry and gross, and this cornbread was the exact opposite of that. It was like some Marie Callender's cornbread, and yeah, everything was good. What I had, and I can't even remember what Rebecca had now, but yeah, mine was good.
Did you smell the? What did you think about the
it?
teriyaki? The teriyaki flank steak.
Oh, the flank steak, that was the meat. Yeah, no, I didn't smell it, but it sure looked better than the picture of some pale meat that I had seen from Thursday.
Oh yeah, somebody posted in my group that looked ugly. I was like,
yeah, I don't know what was going on with the food on Thursday, but they definitely had fixed the problem by Saturday, because the food was amazing and it all looked good. I would have gotten everything that there was there at barbecue. Now my original plan was to go to Wilderness Broiler, because they had the limited time jambalaya, which I'm hoping is still going to be there. It should still be there tonight, so I'm going to get it tonight, and I will talk about that next time maybe. But they were having that because they're doing I don't know what it's called. It's a limited time where they're going to have a certain like a flashback dish or something, where they bring it and it's going to be at a specific place, but it's only going to be there for like a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
And the first one is the jambalaya over at Wilderness Broiler. So I heard that's really good, and
Looks good.
yeah, and yeah. So I mean, the food was good. The lines didn't seem, at least for the area that I was in when I was looking at lines over in the boardwalk area and stuff, was not too bad over there.
Well, I'm glad they improved on that because I guess we definitely were the guinea pigs on Thursday.
You knew you were going to be anyway.
I was gonna say, man, come on, you knew that.
Not that bad,
I mean,
but
you can't go the first day and not expect everything to be. It's probably stupid that bloggers would even want to go on the first day because they should know things are going to be shit. If anything, it just gives them an excuse to be jerks.
This isn't a new parade, man.
Views. Those vloggers, they know that if they're the first ones to pump out that content, people are going to click it, they're going to get the views. I only saw one vlogger, I call him the bougie vlogger, but only one person was talking negatively about Knott's, but not on his vlog, on his live stream. Every other vlogger that I've watched live stream or the actual edited content, they all had nice things, like really positive things to say about Knott's, probably because they're ambassadors and they want to be invited back. And the
reason.
Yeah, and the one who said something negative, I don't believe is, because they're new. They jumped to Knott's after Disney chose to not do anything for their legacy people. So they scramble to get content, I guess. But they were pretty
hard
on their live stream. But most of the ones I saw were saying good things. And I was watching one of them who, even though I know they're a Knott's ambassador, they were being the same critiques we have. The first day was a little rough. People weren't paying attention. The food was a little iffy. They're training new people. The rides were, on and off. So a lot of it is the same critiques that we had.
Michael over there eating as if he's at Knott's.
Because of one of my medicines, I haven't really been eating. I just don't feel like it. Even if I blaze, it still doesn't I have to be super, super picky. The other day I wanted a crab, so I went to my seafood spot and got a crab, and I was like, damn, I must be that desperate to pick something that I need to eat. I'll drive to buy. But I guess I got some a good vape this time because I'm a hybrid. But I picked sativa, and damn, I'm eating like a motherfucker.
It's all about what strain you're getting. You got to get the right one.
Well, I stopped the hybrid because being a long-time smoker, I do a lot of research every so often with studies, and I think I'm one of those ones where it's starting to affect my body. And I seen at a point where when I stopped the first time, where I thought I was going to go into surgery, I thought I was going to drop. I had a lot of stomach issues. Thought it was a medicine. Ended up I was blazing too much. And I was like, no shit. And I just stopped for a while. And the only reason why I'm back smoking is because it's just a matter of time where I'm not going to be able to, and I'm done for good. So enjoy it till it's done. Fuck it. Besides, theme parks are coming up, man, and supposedly one of my friends got in with the Stizzy in Disneyland, so I'm debating on that one.
Huh.
But I probably won't. That's a lot of money I spent.
Yeah, let's talk about how much. Well, you don't have to give us an amount, but unless anybody's got anything to say about Knott's, we can switch the conversation for a few. Because none of us have been at Disneyland.
We've established that we all can go to Knott's without having to pay
more
money.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
I mean, other than whatever we already paid or whatever our monthly is, or it's I'm not going to pay $150 to go. Oh, you only get to go once? Nah, I think I'll wait.
So I understand that you didn't spend 8 to 9 hours online to get a ticket for opening day at Knott's. That's what it seems like, because that's what. What's the record, Michael? What's the record that you heard as far as somebody waited online? I did hear nobody that I know. Actually, I don't know anybody that waited
12
opening
hours.
day. 12 hours, man, that's ridiculous.
Because it did glitch 3 times.
Stupid.
I got tossed out. I was right there. I got tossed out. The website froze.
Let me
And
tell you something real quick about Knott's. If you got tossed out, it kept your place in line. Because as
no,
long
not
as
me.
you it did. No, it even said right on it that it would keep your place in line if you got tossed out. Rebecca got tossed out. My fiance got tossed out 3 times, and every time she went back in, it's kept her place in line. It even said right on the page that if
Yeah,
you
but
close the page, it keeps your place in line. So as long as you went back in and you were still signed in your account, it was kept your place in line.
The website just straight out just error page.
Well, then that's
when I was done.
that's a problem on your end. That's not their problem, because like I said, Rebecca was on her phone and got kicked off 3 or 4 times, and each time she was able to maintain her place in line. So if anybody was having problems that didn't happen, and it specifically said that it would keep your place in line, that's your problem.
Well, at the beginning, it was giving us different names.
Oh.
And it was like, "Hi, Steve," and I'm like, "I'm definitely not Steve." And then
I got Jan.
What are you talking about? On the Knots?
Yeah.
Not because
When you signed in.
I was signed in on mine and just said hi, Anthony, and then
Nope,
it said that I was 700 or 7,000th in line and whatever, that I had to wait time, and that's all.
By the time I got on, I was still really low in the queue. I was, because I was trying right as like we could, but to get logged on, yeah, it called me Steve. I was Alicia. I was like every name that wasn't me. So then
Jan, Stephanie.
Get it, I'm just go with it. I'll just be Alicia and I'll figure it out later. And then that's what I did. But it didn't. It did say if you close it out, it would let you back in. But in that, there was a window where it wasn't doing that. There was a window where it was crashing because I was on there, and then I was on Facebook looking at what people were saying, and everybody that wasn't a new, like, it wasn't it was common that people were like, "I'm not Steve, like, who's Steve and Alicia?" And it was this random name, and so it didn't just happen to me. I know it happened to several people.
Not even that, because when that crash went down is when Knott's realized that people were making multiple days. We're getting 12, 15,
Yeah.
7.
Oh, yeah.
So when that crash hit, that's when they were like, no, we figured it out. The people still got it. Some people did get screwed over, and the last one that they did get was the one that they got. So that they tried to get opening, that was gone. Whatever was some of the last reservations that they made out of like the 10, that's what they got. And they wiped it all out, and just some just got lucky and have like multiple days still. But that's when I got messed up. But regardless, in the end, it was like Disneyland, where
none of the people I knew that got reservations at the same time as me had any of those problems you guys are talking about. That's weird. I don't know if it was. Were you guys both on computers?
I was on a desktop. Or no, a laptop. I was on
a laptop. I didn't use my phone.
Maybe that's the common denominator, because all the people I know who were doing it were on mobile.
Probably.
So I don't know. I mean, that's crazy, because I never heard any of that. I mean, I knew my fiance, my mom, and my friend Victoria we were all doing it at the same time, and none of us had any of those problems. And like I said, she got kicked out 4 times and got back in and saved her place. So I don't know. That's crazy.
iPhone or Android?
Right? I think we were all on iPhone.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now all you got to do is go to the Knott's app, and there's a place where it says reservations, and you click the button, and then you can see what you need, and you click the buttons, and it's super easy.
Well, do they
So
have it in the
Knott's
app now?
figured it out fast, but that first day it was
Nuts.
it was.
It was
It
Knott's?
wasn't like Disneyland.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
I would say that they fixed it quickly, and I would say that I feel that it was resolved pretty quick, but yeah, some people did wait a long time. I don't think it was to the extent that Disney, because Disney had more demand, I think, than Knott's.
I never heard of anybody waiting past like two hours to get the Knott's.
No,
I mean, maybe 2.5 hours. I mean, nobody was waiting past like I think 12:30. I think maybe by 1 at the latest.
So Knott's, Disney went by really quick, because I told you Dan had gone to the CM stuff, and when we were talking, they had to do the same thing. They had obviously their their comp tickets or however they handled that, but they still had to go through the reservation process for the 2 days. Was it 2 days, Michael? 2 days of CM previews that they had?
Yeah. No, 3 days.
3 days.
3 days.
10 minutes,
Yeah, 3
man.
days only.
10 minutes.
Mhm.
That stuff was sold out in 10 minutes.
Oh,
That-
yeah.
That's how quick that went. So, I mean, they were able to get them and went.
Just for the
but
cast members.
Just for the cast members. Yeah, I was sold out
Wow.
in 10 minutes. Like
And what people don't understand is that on the 20th, after the regular people started doing the California residents and all that, people forget that the comp tickets before pre-COVID for cast members or whoever they gave it to, and the top comp tickets they got starting again, the reservations hit for them. So a lot of slots that are filled, people don't understand that that's cast member comp tickets as well, that they're not including into the capacity.
yeah,
I'm
so
surprised
it
they're
could
even
still be
letting
used
them
to
do
do that.
that right now.
Well, I heard
Especially
that
since they didn't allow them to do it when Galaxy's Edge opened. I'm surprised they didn't block them off from doing it now.
And we don't know what that's going to look like because having talked to a few, they're unsure what that's going to be like. They were allowed to do the Disneyland preview just like, everybody else did. Choose your park the day you want to go from the cast member previews days, but they're unsure what it's going to look like heading in now when they get their however many comp tickets they get, in a year or whatever it is. They're unsure what that's going to look like and how that'll play into capacity. Because I had asked him specifically, are you going to try to do it when Avengers Campus opens? And he said, you know what, I really don't know because I know they're changing the way that they're handling all that kind of stuff because they expect obviously demand is going to go up again next month.
Well, and the kicker too is that it's no secret that Disneyland's been trying to get rid of the comp tickets for a long time. Anyways, there was rumors about them getting rid of the comp tickets about 3 years ago when when Rebecca was working there. So there was they were already talking about it then, or they were talking about it then. So I mean. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if you see them use this as an excuse to get rid of comp tickets, same way that they used it as an excuse to get rid of passes. So it would be the perfect time for them to be like, sorry, we can't bring back the comp ticket program. We just can't. Maybe after, they could be like, oh, well, maybe after reservation period is over, and then just never have it again. So I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah. So as far as that goes, I mean, it was really that first day that was a mess. But then, as Michael knows, because I saw him posting this, and I have a cousin of mine who did decide to go. Just decided to say, you know what, I'm going to go on the next day after the big rush, and we're able to actually get tickets. And so, being the Star Wars fan that she is, he decided I'm going to go May 4th, and didn't have any trouble doing that. During the week and all that kind of stuff. Because obviously, opening day went first. Avengers Campus opening day was the next one, and then of course weekends, but like most of the weekdays you're able to do. Or if you wanted to park hop, starting at DCA, you could do that, and then park hop after the 1 p.m. Thing, and then they've got the changes now with the way you can do Rise, having the 2 different times you can try to get a reservation. So the initial crush seemed bad. It seems like everybody I know that wanted to get tickets later was able to do so and get something that they were happy with. Most of which has been during the week, which, they could I'll take a day off of work or whatever. They've been able to do that. But, that's what it seems like. So remember, and we talked about this too, I think on a podcast, we're talking about how they could specifically do Rise. Well, Michael saw this and Dan confirmed it, that first, scene with Rey and BB-8, like the
I
little
confirmed
pre-show
that
thing.
also.
Yeah, is totally, it's not there. The first place they walk into is where they get under the shuttle, which has a bunch of plexiglass.
It seems like they walk straight through that room and straight into the shuttle, and then the first thing you see is that Mon Calamari lieutenant.
Yeah. They even, to which was a bummer for a lot of people, that picture opportunity with all those stormtroopers when you exit the shuttle, they just rush you right past there. There's no time to take a photo right there, because when that ride first opened, everybody, including me, has a photo in front of all the stormtroopers that are lined up there. They just rush you right by.
Well, the thing too is that picture would be almost ruined if you get a cast member in there, because that whole experience is ruined, because I've seen video of people going through there and the cast members are wearing those ugly ass face shields.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I did see pictures of that.
The
too.
first order ones, at least in that room. I don't know about everybody else, but at least the ones in that room I saw were wearing those face shields, and I'm like, what are you? You're no dentist.
In the hallway too. You see a couple of them.
Yeah.
I guess any place where they're going to be close to you.
Pretty much.
Like, but aren't they already wearing masks? Why do they also need to wear face shields? I don't know.
I think that's personal preference, because even when it was at Downtown Disney, that was a personal preference thing.
I mean, I guess if that's what makes the cast members feel better, I'm not going to fault them for that.
No,
I mean,
no.
They deserve whatever they're allowed to do, but yeah, I know that's not the experience I want. Now I'm like, well, I definitely not going to. I hope they bring that scene back at some point, because I don't want to be I don't want to be the person who was robbed out of seeing the whole entire Rise of the Resistance experience. That's like, only people who were there during the first couple weeks of Frozen at the Hyperion actually saw the whole entire show, because they just kept chopping bits out of it every few months. They kept chopping bits out of it, so only people who were there at the beginning actually saw the full show. But it's like, this is going to be one of those things. It's like, are they going to put it back, or only those lucky people who got to go before pandemic got to see that scene? And it's like, well, I guess I'll go to Florida and see it then.
Florida again. Here we go. Anyway, so that's what I've seen. Michael, what are you trying to hope to do when you go this week?
Well, I understand what Redman says, and trust me, that's because, I was fighting for Rise when I was able to get down there, but one time failed and park closed. I have so many people that give me the main gist of it, so I think I'll be fine, and if not, you can wait till 12, because I'm glad that the system reads where you got it. Oh, well, you can't try again, so it gives other people an opportunity besides, just your park hoppers, your in-guests still at Disneyland still have a chance as well. So, that definitely, well, I'm going to basically do is, for sure, Rise. Obviously, you can't get until you pass the gates. So, I'll see how that looks. And definitely hit the 4 classics, because it seems like, and I just checked the app, maybe like a half an hour ago, where they're looking at, Snow White and Peter Pan are 35. I'm not sure. Pirates was 40 and Haunted was 35.
Can we talk about the Haunted Mansion, the secret entrance?
Well, yeah, hold on real quick. What I had heard from people was that when everybody first gets there, they try to do the new one. Obviously, Haunted Mansion, because it was closed at the time of the closure, because they were plussing it, or however you want to term it. And then we all know Snow White has been different too, but like people crush those when they first get there. And if you're able to catch it at a different time, if you're telling me that it's 35 minutes for Haunted Mansion and 35 minutes for Snow White right now, that's not too bad.
Shit.
Yeah, that's really not too bad.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not really worried about it, but having a hyper 4-year-old, yeah, I'm trying to just get that and burn her out early, where all the other ones, like Two Towns, only like 5 and 10 minutes for Go-Go's and Roger Rabbit. You know what I mean? And Autopia was like 10, and all those were like not as bad, 20, 25. So, you know what I mean? As long as I get the and honestly, I've seen a lot of videos with Haunted. Yeah, go in the quick area, get faster. Some have timed it where they wanted to go old school, and it really was like only 25 to maybe 30 max, but it really wasn't bad. So,
what did you want to say about the secret entrance, Anthony?
I don't like it. I mean,
it sucks, but it makes sense, though.
No, it doesn't make sense at all, because if it had made sense, they would have done it during the 60th. They would have done it during other times when the line got incredibly long and stupid and had to go out into the garden and the fountain and that shit. If they really wanted to cut down the line that badly, I'm sorry, this is going to get me really hot, and you haven't heard me like this in a while.
Oh, no, Michael and I were waiting for this. We were talking about it earlier.
That is a cast member entrance. You
Yep.
do not take guests and put them through cast member entrances. That is the number one no-no in all of anything you ever learned as a Disneyland employee. That is a bad no-no. It was one thing when they took Backstage and Main Street and put up those scrims so that way they could do the shortcut on the west side of Main Street.
Yeah.
That went next to the Backstage of Jungle Cruise. That was one thing, because they put up some scrims and stuff. They are literally. I've been through that door as a cast member. There's a break room there.
Yep.
Break room there. They're taking them through a break room and then through a hallway, literally right past the control room to the ride. Because I have been in there many times. I had to work in there one whole month during changeover from Nightmare to Knott, and no, I don't. I don't care what they've done in there. I've seen reports that they've decorated in there or something. I don't know if they've put up curtains.
Yeah,
I don't know what they've
put up the.
It's absolutely unacceptable that they're taking guests through a cast member access area and then having them go through that door, which I've been through that door, obviously, into the portrait hallway. And it's absolutely unacceptable. What were you gonna say, Dan?
I said they themed it like a servant's entrance, is what they actually did. So there's paintings of the paintings when you go into the stretching room. There's a couple of those, the painting that you see before it stretches. They're in those hallways and stuff. Disney Parks posted that. I literally saw it on TikTok. I saw that actual where they took you through the whole thing on TikTok, and I have been on the ride before where I had complained about the sound being out on the ride, and the cast member told me, you know what, just get back in the Doom buggy, and I went past, and the control. I know where it's at. Yeah, I saw it because I went past the control room, doing that. So when I noticed it too when they were on that little video, I was like, oh, that's the control room. That's where that area is right there, because I saw where you came out, and I was like, okay, this is what it is. It's all in the name of social distancing, and
that's it.
and you know it. It's just to try to get some people through that are ambulatory. Big word, you like that? Because they don't need the elevator that you don't need the elevator that is a stretching room. So you get some people out of the way.
At Disneyland, we need that because it is a genuine elevator, and they can only put so many people in there, and the line, it just wasn't moving. And so I see why they did it. I mean,
it's only 5 people inside the dots.
Right.
Yeah, well, so you've got that, and then that line, because you hold a bunch of that line outside. Anyway, we know that from the Nightmare Before Christmas layover, but at some point between that and Pirates, those lines they're gonna match, or they're gonna mix, because if you're holding that all outside and Haunted Mansion outside, you're gonna get real close to each other.
Pirates did look long at one point, a couple days ago, I believe. Where it extended out pretty far. I was like, damn.
Well, it extends out pretty far to begin with, because they got all those switchbacks that go up across. They got that one switchback that goes up across the bridge, in front of it, heading towards the treehouse, and then depending on how long it gets, takes up some of the area there in front of the river. At some point, like I said, it's just going to keep getting longer. And where do you go? Because you still have to have some place that somebody can walk by to go get their Hungry Bear.
And see, that's why, obviously, following with the color tier system of Orange County, they're stating that they're setting for May 19th to step up to the final color tier. And I'm like, I know it'll take a bit, maybe a day or so to see that affect in the parks.
So what are they at right now? The 25% or the 35?
25.
So
Hey, please, we won't get into this argument, but that first day, the opening, there was no way they were at 25%. There was way they were.
Dan,
at 25%.
how long have I been saying that there was no way they were going to be at the actual percentage they're supposed to be for any of the days? Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
It was like summer of 19 with Galaxy's Edge.
I doubt very much Knott's is at 25%.
I don't know about that one, but there was no way Disney was going to open and fill it up. They gave you that. If you were lucky enough to go that first day, you truly did have something magical, because there was no way they had it at 25%. Knowing that Disney was going to say, okay, we're not going to screw this up, so we're going to keep it lower than it is supposed to be to figure out how everything is, because we have all these new cast members, because people, like Michael was saying with Knott's, people just didn't want to go back. Or, to be honest, you moved on. you just moved on because it's
A
been
lot
a
of
year.
people had better jobs, pretty much, and with better pay and the coverage that they got. And one of my friends ended up being an assistant manager because he was a lead at Disneyland, and they saw how good he worked from there, and he ended up becoming an assistant manager and getting just bang. And he was like, "Screw Disneyland, I love it, but bye."
Yeah, I mean, you got to do what's best for you financially. I'm not going to wait out. I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't wait out a job. I'm not. If something better comes along, I'm out, man. I'll hang on for so long, but if nothing produces and a better opportunity comes along, I'm gonna take it.
You gotta do what's best for you and only you and your family.
Yeah, we got that. Since Anthony's already heated, let's heat him up some more.
Yeah.
Our membership, Anthony. Did you hear about this? Our membership.
Ooh.
How they didn't use the word pass holder, and now it's basically the thought was
They
that
used that word. They already used that word once before.
Oh, I'm not.
Yeah.
It's not that. It's the fact that they basically admitted at this point, well, they just don't spend enough money.
He said that we're full of shit. That's pretty much. Like, we don't, and it's stupid because it's like.
But he's not wrong.
He's not wrong, but at the same time, for us signatures paying that high price, if I'm not going that day, just say you calculate all the days, what it be.
But you know what they're not factoring in? They're not factoring in the fact that we do spend money, but it's not. We spend money in patches. But when we spend money in patches, we spend lots of money in patches. Because whether it's doing a bunch of purchases during Christmas or it's during a bunch of purchases when you have merchandise releases, we're not buying stuff every single time we're there, but we're buying things in bulk when we do buy things.
I buy at least 3 churros when I buy churros.
Or we're not eating every single time, but we're like spending a lot then when we do eat because we're going to Blue Bayou or we're going to
Plaza,
or Steakhouse 55 or something like that. I'm just saying as an example. I mean, I did go there that one time with he who shall not be named. See, that's what they don't understand is that we do spend money. We just don't spend it every time.
No.
But when we do spend money, we spend a lot of money because there is, no matter how they look at it, we're pass holders. Sure, we're not in the park, to spend money, but we do want things that you have.
Yeah.
And if you continue to make nice things, particularly nice things in Galaxy's Edge or stuff like that, we're going to continue to buy lightsabers. We're going to continue to buy whatever Star Wars things you guys push out there. So don't tell us that we don't spend money at Disneyland as pass holders. We may not spend it on a regular basis like people who come in like right now. Sure, they're they're making back a lot of freaking money right now from all the people that are paying full price to go and spending all that money on merchandise and shit. But you know what? They make money from us in the long run, so just get over it and either give us passes or don't. Just stop teasing us, goddammit.
And that's what I've told people, that since this has come up, like, what's the deal with this? And, okay, well, look, yeah, I spend a lot of money on my pass. And do I spend money in the park? I do. Do I buy stuff all the time? I don't buy stuff all the time. But I was kidding about the 3 churros, but then again, I'm not. Because every time I do go when I get a churro, I do buy 3 at $5 a piece. They're $1 at freaking Costco. I'm spending your $5 a churro. We do eat a lot of meals there, or some kind of dessert or something. But I'm not the only one buying it. I'm buying it for my 2 kids that are with me. So
it adds up.
It does add up. If you added up what I did, yeah, I spent a lot of money. Now, true, I don't drop $200, $300 in one store at one time and then do that all day. I don't do that. But if you buy dinner,
you might though. You have the possibility that you might see something that you like, and you might do that.
Oh, and I have. But even just going in and saying, "Oh, we're going to go and we're going to have dinner there." Okay, well, dinner is not a Happy Meal. It's not $5.
It's not cheap as hell.
It's not. It's not cheap. And my rule with Disney has always been like, if I'm going to eat at Disney, I'm going to try to at least get a full meal because it's no different for me getting a hamburger as it is, the price of a hamburger as it is to go sit down at one of the restaurants there. I could go get some fried chicken for just a couple of dollars more. It's no different. So I'm like, if I'm going to go, I might as well eat what I want. I'm not going to scrimp on it. I'm just going to eat what I want.
Yeah, I'm going to spend the same amount getting a Ronto wrap and a Maileron juice, and as I would going to Jack in the Box and getting a meal, and I'm going to enjoy that Ronto wrap probably almost as much as I would that that sourdough Jack.
Dinner was no less than,
if not more.
Dinner was no less for me and my 2 kids, and if my wife was with me, it was even more when she had a pass. But it was no less than $40-$50 a shot for dinner.
Pretty
much. And then it becomes, hey, Dad, can we get a blue milk? Yeah, we can get a blue milk. So there's another $20.
Wait. Are you sure that's not you asking for the blue milk?
No, it's my son. My son likes the blue milk, but hey, he suggested it, and I was like, yeah, you can have one. But you know what? Dad wants one too. Because I ain't gonna share, bro. It's my thing. And then popcorn. Oh well, that popcorn bucket's cute. There's $25. You know what I mean?
Oh man, tell me about it. I was looking at the list. You know what I mean, of all the places, because obviously in Disneyland there's a very selective menus everywhere, and I'm very picky, so I was just like $25 for was it the Cinderella? You got 20 something, 18 something, and I was just like, damn. And my lady's like, oh, I'm getting that for my daughter. Ooh, I like that one. That she saw the sipper cup, the alien one. I was like, shh. I'm like, you're spending that, not me,
sucker. Hey, Gina, did you see the picture he posted of the fried chicken from Plaza Inn?
No.
Oh, it looked like a slightly upgraded school lunch.
Nice.
In the little tray and everything. Like,
yeah,
here's a little
pretty
tray.
much.
Here's your 2 chicken wings.
Joke, but the fried chicken from our school district is delicious.
Dude, we get that. My kids come home with the free lunch all the time, and I eat half of it.
Rebecca brings
all right.
fried chicken home all the time.
Yeah.
And I love it. It's so good.
But it was in those little containers like you take leftovers
I think they use. I swear they use peanut oil they fried in peanut oil. It's so good.
Maybe, I don't know, but it was pretty funny. So that's the difference. That's what he's talking about as far as the difference in food and the limited options, because there's no open stuff anymore. They're gonna hand you the thing.
Very limited.
Disney is still they're barely opening things in Florida, and Florida's been open since July of last year. So even in Walt Disney World, Disney is using this as a way to cut corners and to see at what point are all of the people who love Disney going to revolt. If they're not revolting yet, Disney's going to continue to see what they can get away with to cut a corner, increase profit. I mean, they're a company. That's what companies and corporations do. It's all about their bottom line. And so if they can get away with it, they're going to. And they're going to increase that profit margin, and people are going to continue to be okay with it. And there's going to be a point where they won't, and that's when Disney will go, oh, okay. They're just now reintroducing one show to Animal Kingdom, or whatever it's called down there. And it's that park is a half-day park. It's less than a half-day park if you're not even going to open anything. They still have limited menus in Florida. They still have places not open to eat in Florida. And so, considering California is even more restrictive, if you're going to Disney right now, you just have to be okay with the fact that you're paying top dollar for half of the stuff.
Yeah, but you know what? There's a lot of rides open right now in Disneyland that I didn't expect to be open.
That's true.
Yeah.
There are rides that have no business being open based on Pirates has no business being open. Haunted Mansion has no business being open. Secret entrance, my ass. It has no business being open. The dark ride's fine. That's fine. But you know what? Yeah, you know what? You if you go underground, a ride probably shouldn't be open.
Well, and I think that they're doing such limited capacity. So, you're only having one family per vehicle. And they're increasing capacity in Florida. They're starting to put, they're not socially distancing there anymore. They are shortening it to 3 feet instead of 6 feet. So that's all happening in Florida, and I'm watching that because I'm looking at it in terms of this. Theme parks are looking at Florida as the guinea pig and saying, okay, as California opens back up, what can we do and what can we not do? And now that the CDC is starting to say things like, oh, hey, if you're vaccinated, you can be maskless. Well, now I was reading today, somebody somewhere was writing, all of this plexiglass they put everywhere needs to come down because now it's limiting the airflow. We need more airflow, not less airflow. And if we're all going to go maskless, then take down the plexiglass. And Disney's like, we haven't said we're going to get rid of masks yet. Even in Florida, where, DeSantis is doing what he said, it's up to you. Do whatever you want. You don't have to have a mask if you don't want to. So Disney's sort of like testing the waters down there. And so is Universal, quite frankly. I'm seeing a lot of people that I follow are much more happy. They're much happier with how Universal is handling things over the way Disney is handling things.
You're talking about in Florida.
All taken care of.
In Florida? Are you talking about?
Yeah, in Florida. Right. Even here, actually, I've read a lot of, and Universal Studios Hollywood is throwing major shade if you follow their Twitter. They got jokes for days, but yeah, even Hollywood, a lot of people that I follow on social media, they've said they feel so much more taken care of at Universal and how Universal has handled things than how Disney is doing it. But people still run to Disney because it's Disney.
I just want you guys to know that right this second, woke Disney is trending on Twitter.
Oh, did you see why?
Is it that cartoon?
Yes.
What cartoon?
The cartoon of woke Disney. My favorite part is the Black Lives Matter horn.
Hold on, Dan. Let me see if I can send it to you. Give me a second. I'll try to send it to you.
Okay. While you're doing that, since we talked about Universal, let's hit I think I'm done with Disney unless somebody has to say anything else. They'll throw in whatever we know about anything else, and we'll end this because we're already at 3:00. So another few minutes, and then we'll call it. Michael's the expert though, the SeaWorld and the Universal guy.
You know what? Universal's been doing good. I mean, but the wait times are just whoo-wee.
Oh yeah, those wait times.
Yeah, that's the only difference. And then now they already listed the prices for the out of states to come, which I thought was shocking. Pretty early they announced that, but from a couple of people that I know that work there, they're saying everything's running smooth, hardly any drama. Not nobody yelling at employees that much. You know what I mean? Santos hasn't had no drama working there ever since they opened. So he said everything's been flowing good. I don't see no issues. SeaWorld, oh man, they're on a PR alert. The biggest issue with them is that they cannot figure out the right information on regards of vaccines for out of state. When you contact their social media, they get faster than the phone lines. And yesterday morning,
maybe if they weren't allowing people from out of state, they wouldn't have that problem.
Yeah, pretty much. But the message I got from them was saying that you have to be fully vaccinated 3 and up. Some other employees were saying 12 and up because they just released it yesterday. That I think the lowest was 12 to 16.
Yeah. So, there was no COVID vaccination for anyone under 12 right now.
Exactly. That's my whole point. And whatever they send me, I use it because that's their own page and that's their statement. So, and unfortunately on my page, I have a marketing team manager I talk to and some other people that they see what they say, what we post. They're on all the SeaWorld groups. So I was like, well, I keep it real and they're going to see it. I'm like, well, hey, you guys are screwing up. So what is it? Because I asked, is it 3? Is it 12? Is it 16? And then I posted where in the morning they said, this is what the news was stating that was released. So it's still a heads and tails. And
that's still completely highly inequitable because you take for granted the fact that California has the best vaccine rollout in the country. Other states don't have that. So while most Californians who want the vaccine have already been vaccinated in the tiers because we already dropped it down to 12 years old, that's not the case in other states at all. So that's highly inequitable. Of course you'd have problems. To me, and I'll let you get to finish in a second, but to me, I know they released that and said you can open this for out-of-state guests, but to me, if you said that as soon as the governor said, okay, we can kind of do this, that was a money grab. That 100% was a money grab because you didn't have logistics worked out, because you didn't even consider the fact that vaccine rollout isn't the same throughout the country. So how can we prove this? Because you're still be excluding a lot of people.
You can tell from the beginning. They released things, opened up faster. They were doing things like, any loophole, they took it. And, well, let's just see, because they got I think a new CEO or new director for SeaWorld that came from the San Diego Zoo for a couple of years. And from what I know because I'm in a zoo and safari group, there's none whatsoever. Somebody that's like knows somebody that's always there, and you're like, he's a good guy. He's a really good guy, and he's all about the animals. You know what I mean? He was one of the help to change the whole concept of the zoo and this whole conservation thing that they're implementing now. So I think he should be a good addition because obviously a video went out about the old submarine ride, which makes them look really bad, which they're finally destroying. The track is already being removed finally since 2018, since that was the last operation of the ride, and hopefully things will look better. But as of right now, if you want to compare SeaWorld to Magic, SeaWorld's the worst right now, and Magic is not that far behind it.
Yeah, what's the news out of there?
Well, Magic's always going to be Magic, so I mean, you can't really.
that's a.
I mean, they're always going to be the bottom tier, so I mean, you can't do it. You can't really say that.
Well,
I mean, I've said
SeaWorld...
before, it's the non-union ones are the ones you have to worry about, and Magic is obviously always going to be the worst. I mean, who's the first theme park that had to put metal detectors in? Yeah, that was way back in 1999.
Yeah, when they used to follow people with recorders all the way to the parking in the car, and then the lawsuits came in. Yeah, my friend made money out of that one. And my stepdad and I were wearing Raiders, and they pulled us off with a sheriff location. That was when all the drama was starting. They made him take off everything. Yeah, they made him, and he was just a machinist, an aero machinist, and they made him take off everything because I was probably 12, 14. They were like, just take off your shoes, and I'm like, my stepdad was like, are you serious? As soon as my stepdad, I told my mom, my mom gave him an earful and shit, just didn't hesitate.
But they had to, though. I mean, the problems with gang violence at Magic Mountain was in the 90s is legendary, and it all culminated with that big fight, that big gang fight that happened at Magic Mountain with knives and guns, and that's what led them to put the. I had a pass at the time when that happened, and I was there one of the first days those metal detectors went in. And it was a new experience to have to go through metal detectors going to a theme park. Who knew that Disneyland wasn't going to be far behind?
Yeah, but that was years later. Worse than Toontown.
No, it was actually only 2 years later because it was right after 9/11. So
has it been that long?
No,
really?
Not the metal detectors, but they put in bag check.
Oh, okay.
Right after 9/11.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, but it was years before anybody else had metal detectors. But I mean, Magic Mountain, you always just throw them out like the baby with the bathwater.
I would like to go down to SeaWorld. I never managed to get they do free.
They're doing it
passes.
again. They're doing it again right now.
Are they? So I can never ever validate my credential because my last name on my credential is different than my married name. So I have a maiden name and a married name, and it's such a pain in the butt that I just gave up. But I might do it again just because it's free. But I
message them on Facebook and don't call. They get back to you really fast, and they'll look at your account and everything.
All right, I'll see what I can do because I might go down there and do that because I really enjoyed
I got an email today.
I like the shows and all of that, and I know it's not politically correct to like SeaWorld very much, but they've done a lot to try to turn things around and to really try to do more for conservation and I really like it down there. I haven't been to the zoo or animal park either, but I've heard mixed reviews on those too.
Most likely you go on weekdays.
Yeah.
Stay away from the weekends.
Well, and summer's coming up, so more people are going to be out on the weekdays too. It's just that tonight, as Southern California residents, we weigh, do we want to be bored with, do we want to go fight crowds? But with California being closed to, quote, out-of-state people for a while, might be our opportunity to go enjoy theme parks in the summer a little bit.
Take advantage of it.
Yeah, without, a lot of the crowds, so.
Well, just a few words about the animal parks. Michael knows that they just recently rebranded. You alluded to it. Instead of being the San Diego Zoo and the San Diego Safari Park and their whole association, they've now rebranded themselves as the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance.
There you go.
That came with a whole brand new logo.
On the
And
passes.
they even got rid of the original. They've even changed over the long running Zoo whatever magazine that you got as a higher member has now been rebranded into a brand new magazine.
Yeah, I haven't got that one yet.
I just got the brand new one, the first rebranded one today in the mail. Actually, they sent out a rebranded one last month, but it was a calendar. What's a magazine? Yeah, I still get a few magazines every now and then. I
was a member of that day. I know.
I have a free membership that I got from Verizon for Entertainment Weekly, or shall I say Entertainment Monthly? But no, yeah. So they've rebranded. We had a chance to, because we have the I think it's whatever it's called, the curator member or whatever. It's one of the higher ones. And we got to go to a member appreciation evening last Thursday. It was a free event. It was.
Oh, you signed up?
Yeah, we signed up.
Oh,
we went to
nice.
that. We went to that. It was really fun. They had free food. They had hot dogs, chili. They had a bunch of different. They had salads and other vegetarian options.
Yeah.
Free booze. They had wine. They had beers. Of course,
I'm signing up next time.
They were all shitty beers, but I had at least one just to say I had a free beer. But free drinks. They had different stations throughout the whole entire safari park. That was at the safari park, by the way. That
nice.
was at the zoo. The zoo would have been much too big for that. But yeah, we went to that. It was a good time. Just a bunch of white people walking around. Enjoying free stuff, you know what I mean?
Hey, as long as you don't take any babies in with the elephants.
Right. But no, it was a good time, and I don't know how I feel about the new logo. It's a little bright and big, but they already have the new logo. They already had that day. They already had the new logo plastered on the side of the big balloon. You know, the big balloon that you could take up in the air. They already had the new logo plastered on the side of that.
Yeah, I saw that.
Everything's bright and orange, and I like orange, but there's too much orange.
Yeah, it was. I think because it was dull after a while, but yeah, once they touched it up, I was like, with the bright sun.
Right. But yeah. So I mean, I like what they're doing. I mean, they have. I have fun at those two places. We're probably gonna our membership's going to be up in July. We're probably going to renew it, just because I enjoy being able to go there, and as long as we still don't have Disneyland passes, I like having that secondary place we can go, and I like animals.
It's a nice day trip too.
Yeah,
it's a nice day trip to go. Yeah, I've always enjoyed the safari park and the zoo.
I mean, it's a way to get away because depending on how we work it, I mean, I don't mind getting a hotel room for one night for either of those places. Get it the night before, and then you can just get up and go into the park fresh, and then drive home afterwards. So it works out, and I like either of those places. Works out as nice options. I know some people don't like driving that far. I tried to convince one of my other friends to get a pass there, and she was like, "No, I think I'll just get the LA Zoo." I'm like, "Well,
enjoy that little place."
Yeah.
I'd rather drive to San Diego than LA. That's why I haven't gotten passes yet. I keep looking at LA traffic going, I just don't think I'm going to pull the trigger on those guys.
That's Temecula traffic.
I mean,
but that's at certain times of the day. LA is like still most of the day.
It's been getting worse.
Has it?
The weekends, that's where I crashed. That's how I know. And I talked to the CHP, and he's like, it's getting worse and worse. It's backing up more. And because of my crash on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, I won't leave until after 9. I'll look at my phone, and as long as it's clear, I'm good. I'm not gonna deal with that. That's the highest rated crashes in that. It's not bad, trust me. I lost my car, and I'm still making payments. I'm almost done, but I got screwed over on that one.
I mean, if you ever want to just settle for a zoo, there's always the Santa Ana Zoo.
Hey, Ratman, just to let you know.
I've never been there, but I do want to go at some point.
It's a good spot. That with the change of the Alliance, they did change. You see the new passes, and that half of them have blackout dates, and the prices did go higher.
Oh, not for me because I have the higher. I have the big I have the one of the major packages. There's no blackout dates.
You're the higher than a keeper club.
Yeah, it's the curators club or something. The curators or, like I said, it was the lowest one that was invited to the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Anthony's gonna have one of those bricks on a bench.
No, we don't got that kind of money.
For the animals.
I don't know. I'll have to look into it and see if it's talking about if you renew, if there's gonna be blackout dates. I'll check into that and see what's going on. I mean, I know under the current pass, everything's probably still the same, but
still the same. If you're still pre-COVID, all your things are still the same.
Right. Yeah. No, I'll have to look into that while we decide whether we're gonna renew or not. So, all right. Was that just about it?
Yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up, and I think Anthony's about ready to go be naughty
I'm
today.
gonna be naughty with some jambalaya.
Yeah, and some boysenberry punch.
Yes,
at some point.
Never not get the boysenberry punch.
It was bomb when I got it. I downed that whole cup.
I like the sugar-free one because I can't have sugar, and the sugar-free
just as good.
punch isn't bad.
It's really good. I'm not gonna lie. If I would have to buy the bottle, for people here saying, "Oh, they want that," I'm like, sure, fine. Just tastes as bomb.
I'm gonna have to remember that. I'm gonna have to remember that next time I go to Knott's, which I don't know when that's gonna be, because we don't go with the program anymore.
Get an annual pass with the rest of us. It comes.
Yeah, Dan, come on.
I would think about the zoo before that, so
they're
we'll
still
see.
giving out the purple 100th passes for new pass holders.
The gold one. The gold one.
But I want the old piss yellow bottle.
Yeah, the purple one. Who wants gold?
It's a gold. I got both.
Oh, gold's though for the people you have. That's if you have Soak City, right?
No, that's the 100th anniversary one.
No, the 100th anniversary is the purple one.
No. Well, I guess there's two kinds. I got the gold one.
Well, yours is weird then, because I have purple. What's color is yours, Gina?
For the pass?
Well, yeah, your Knott's pass.
Yeah, when we got the passes, we got them so early in 2019 that it was like the difference between a gold and the platinum was like a couple of bucks. So we just got the platinum passes. So we have platinum ones.
So those are the gold ones.
Yeah, we have the platinum one, and it is also the 100th anniversary, I want to say.
Yeah.
What color is it?
Platinum.
Oh, it's platinum colored. Oh.
Yeah, that's the all Knott Cedar Fair Park pass.
Yeah, so you guys both have the fake passes. As far as I'm concerned, the only proper pass is the boysenberry colored pass.
I had that too, but I mean, I could use either or, but I just use the app.
All right then. All right. We'll call it there. You can each look at your passes and, I don't know, hook up with something.
Wow, fancy.
Yeah. See? Fancy. Gina's got it.
Bling. So. That's the bling pass.
All right.
It came with all the stuff we needed on it, so we got it.
That's why you do it. Whatever you want on it is the one that you get.
Exactly.
So I'm sure we're going to have some talk after Michael visits Disneyland this week to see what his experience was and how long his wait times were and if he actually waited 45 minutes to get on Peter Pan instead of an hour and a half.
Well, I'm going to be monitoring this week, and if my friend is working definitely in Disneyland, I'll be seeing her plannedness at one of the stations, and if not, then I'll just see how long my ankle lasts until I need to go back to the planned station.
All right. That sounds good, all. We'll talk to you all soon. We'll get this out pretty soon.